We have the story from Timcast.com. Fox News founder Rupert Murdoch pushed for Tucker Carlson's ousting. Murdoch was reportedly cornered over the former Fox News host's... Is that what it says? Oh, I'm sorry. Concerned. What am I doing? Murdoch was reportedly concerned over the former Fox News host's coverage of the Capitol riot on January 6th. Murdoch, the former Fox News host's departure is allegedly related to a discrimination lawsuit filed last month by former producer Abby Grossbert. Carlson's senior executive producer, Justin Wells, has also been let go, though Fox News representatives did not further comment. Grossberg, who worked on Sunday Morning Features with Maria Bartiromo, claimed she was bullied and subjected to anti-Semitic comments after being placed on Tucker Carlson Tonight. Carlson previously reported on the Capitol riot, noting Ray Epps, who was present at the Capitol on January 6, may be a government informant. Epps has since claimed he has been scrutinized and received death threats following Carlson's reporting. The FBI reportedly told 60 Minutes Epps has never worked for the agency, per the LA Times. I think, I don't know exactly what they said, but I think the FBI statement of 60 Minutes was like weasel words. Mm-hmm. Like the question is, was he informing for you or taking any instruction from you? And they gave this, he has never been an employee of the,
Was this when Ted Cruz was asking questions?
No, this is a new statement.
Oh, this is a new, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
But so here's what may be a factor here. They're saying January 6th coverage. I think specifically it's possible this is somewhat related to the Dominion lawsuit, not directly, indirectly, in that they're like, we don't want to get sued again. Don't go around accusing people of being federal informants or things like that. That may be a factor in Tucker Carlson's ousting. But I do think it's important to point out. Let's read this headline from the Daily Mail. Tucker Carlson blindsided by Fox News firing. That was a direct order from Rupert Murdoch after January 6 conspiracy claims and producer's lawsuit alleging bullying, sexism, and anti-Semitism. And his exit erases $500 million in value. I think it went up to $1 billion from on their stock.
Yeah.
So I mean, the important thing to point out is that Tucker was our only real competition, and with his ousting, Timcast IRL, we're going to the moon, baby.
Right. That's why I came back. I wasn't going to come here. I was telling Tim I would be here, and I wanted to leave him high and dry. But then when Tucker got fired, I was like, this is opportunity.
That's right. Seamus was like, bro.
I can literally do my impression of him all the time, and people won't even know the difference.
Mm-hmm. Well, now
the media doesn't want you to know this, but you can just watch Timcast if you want to see Tucker. Actually,
it's better than AI. This is amazing.
Exactly.
I do feel like this has the vibe of McDonald's deciding that it's not going to sell the Big Mac anymore because some people get sick from it. Like, they have lost so much money. Tucker Carlson has such a big following. How can they possibly fill this void now?
Dude, honestly, the reason why he may or may not have been fired aside, I think that this is incredible for Tucker Carlson and for independent media as a whole, to be quite honest for you, because we already all knew that cable news was dead. Gen Z, the average human being, is not getting their news, from mainstream media anymore, to be quite honest with you. It's all coming from Twitter. I mean, I've only ever watched Tucker Carlson segments on Twitter, to be quite honest with you. So I really don't think that this is going to impact him very much. He's only going to get bigger. We all know that. And good luck to Fox News after this, because they just completely destroyed themselves.
I hope you're right. I don't know that I'm so optimistic. I think you're right about Fox News destroying themselves. But part of what concerns me is that there are millions of people in this country who still believe that the dominant media culture has any credibility. And they really do believe that Fox News sets the standard for acceptable conservative discourse. And with Tucker Carlson leaving, well, I do agree he certainly doesn't need Fox to stay afloat. I'll still watch him. You'll still watch him. The young audience who likes him will. His legitimacy isn't going to be given, or his ideas aren't going to appear to have the same legitimacy to an older audience.
I mean, it makes me wonder if he'll go completely independent or if he'll move to like Newsmax, right?
Or run for president.
Yeah, I mean, that would be even more fun.
Here's the thing. I hope you're right. And Tucker just continues to grow and blow up. The thing that people don't realize, right, with Fox News as they exist is while CNN is the network that tells you what you're supposed to believe, Fox is the network that tells you what you're allowed to believe. You might not like the flavor CNN is offering, and so here's the outer limit over here of what you're allowed to voice and believe. And what Tucker Carlson did is he moved the Overton window they had there more towards the direction of anti-establishment truth speaking, as opposed to catering to the vision of what conservatives should be that the establishment right has been trying to promote for decades.
Well, yeah, Fox, like Hannity is, he's the guy who says the big things that control stuff are bad. So you should just sit there and listen to me yell about it so that they can keep doing whatever they want. Mm-hmm. And then Tucker Carlson is like,
Actually, they shouldn't be doing that. And here's an alternate theory. This is one thing that conservatives have really struggled with in media is what Fox will do and what a lot of these right-wing pundits will do is they will poke holes in the media narrative, but they won't offer a counter narrative. And so when we have Tucker Carlson talking about January 6th and Ray Epps, what he's essentially doing is filling in the gaps for people. He's saying, here's this guy who we saw inciting, arguably, allegedly, right? We have the footage of it. That's not alleged, but whether that's something he would be prosecuted with inciting violence for is another story. However, what a traditional Fox News host might say is, well, look at all of these holes in the left's narrative, but they wouldn't say, here's the alternate explanation. And in fact, they would say, anyone who promotes that alternate explanation is a far-right lunatic, and I'm not one of those guys. Tucker Carlson was actually willing to give you substance aside from the left is wrong.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think he did bring forward a lot of topics and, like you said, points that we would not have normally heard from a Hannity, maybe even from a Laura Ingraham. A lot of people talking about, too, how Jesse Waters may be the only last person at Fox News that people could really trust, who could maybe even follow Tucker Carlson. So, yeah, this is going to be a big hit. Like you said, too, the older generation that does still look to the mainstream media and view them as a legitimate source of news. We'll see what happens in the future, but like I said, I think that this is actually a good thing. I'm trying to look at the positives of
I
this.
hear you.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just with Tucker leaving Fox now, we know the corporate media is a laughing stock. Nobody trusts them. Elon is taking over Twitter now. Independent journalism is really thriving. So yeah, I've been blackpilled about a lot in the nation, and so I think that I'm excited about where we're at in regards to independent journalism and the freedom that people now have to be able to tell the truth a little bit more.
Take a look at this story from Politico. It's interesting. Tucker Carlson's exit shows who's the real star at Fox. No one is irreplaceable. And they go on to make the stupidest argument I've ever heard, that Glenn Beck wasn't the star in 2009 when he generated the largest viewership in the 5 p.m. hour. Bill O'Reilly wasn't, blah, blah, blah. They're arguing that Fox will easily replace Tucker Carlson in the 8 p.m. slot. And I gotta tell you, they will not.
No.
They've already tried doing, I can't remember what show it was. They had one slot recently in the past year or whatever, where they were doing a rotating series of guest hosts trying to figure out who would be a good personality, and it didn't go anywhere. Tucker Carlson is the guy.
Right.
The dude.
And even when he's absent, right, there's no clear, when Tucker's out, we definitely want this person in. They haven't been able to successfully audition somebody to inherit this slot. So now they fired him. They haven't even given him a transition schedule to leave, and they're going to do what with it? Who are they going to call up from the bench to fix this? I think
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Tucker was top dog. He wasn't afraid to talk about things. And the great thing about Tucker, too, is that he would go and speak to and platform the smaller independent journalists who had substantial stories. I remember when I was at the 2022 NCAA Women's Swimming Championship, Twitter had deleted the clip of the first athlete that spoke out against Leah Thomas. It wasn't Riley Gaines or the other athlete who had spoken out, but it was this young Virginia Tech swimmer named Rose. Tucker picked up her interview. He is the one that made that, really big. Twitter ended up censoring and deleting the clip, but that's just an example of how Tucker has been at the forefront of helping the little man and helping the average American, and that's why he's popular, because your average mainstream media head doesn't care about the the actual American public. They don't care about what we are going through in this country. They care about sharing their talking points. Tucker was the exact opposite of that, and there really is no other pundit that can compare in the mainstream.
Yeah, and that's also part of why I was saying earlier, I really do think this is bad for us. We've been deprived of something. Tucker having that platform on national television and being able to tell the story of these female athletes who have been deprived of what they should have had the opportunity to do because Leah Thomas was competing in their sports was massive.
Two voters 55 and up. That's what we're losing.
Because
they're not going to
transition to YouTube the way that the younger audience, people who are interested in Tucker anyway.
Well, exactly. And look at who the Biden administration is targeting right now. It's Gen Z with all of these dumb TikTokers now. And it is this next generation that is going to be leading this country, that is going to be leading, us into where we're going to be going as a country. I guess I articulated that horribly. But yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, let's lose the boomer audience. All right. We need to be focusing on the younger people. And I think that Tucker has that big following, and he can do that with the amount of independent media we have.
I certainly don't disagree that Tucker's going to be fine on his own, and I hope that his audience is going to continue to grow. I am just a little bit cautious, and I'm a little bit skeptical that he's going to be able to build the kind of platform that we would like to see him have, given how hard big tech tech clamps down on anyone who
Rumble.
speaks the truth. And I hope that's true. And look, I'm on Rumble now too for my podcast. I think they're a great platform. I hope they're able to reach some kind of deal. I do like your optimism, but I will still say I think the American people were deprived of something. I think it's very sad. He was basically the only person on cable television saying anything. Right? Like you said, the other news anchors give you talking points. This is a threat to democracy, or that was racist and xenophobic. They'll just regurgitate these lines they've
Seamus.
heard someone else say, and Tucker would say something.
Can you give me an example of something, say, Hannity said in the past few months?
No, I can't give you an example of something. Hannity
anybody
said.
in the room?
I will look because
No.
I'm not a boomer. I don't really watch cable television. I'll tune in every now and again, but it's pretty rare for me. I get most of my information from the internet and the sources I find to be credible there.
I just want you to know that you're insulting a lot of boomers in the chat right now.
Listen, no offense to the good boomers. Some of them I assume are good people, right? But my parents are in
some
that
of them.
generation. My parents are in that generation too. And I think Tucker Carlson did fantastic work when he was on Fox.
The boomers gave us Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's also true.
It's fantastic.
That is true.
Thank you,
I'll give them.
boomers.
That's like one of the very few things.
But if that's like the only thing,
then.
then
But
they've
even
redeemed
that was a
themselves.
spin-off of something. I mean, Gene Roddenberry wasn't a boomer, right? I mean, boomers
was
worked on it, but that's a spin-off from the original Star Trek from the 60s. And
Sure.
and
they made it better.
there's a whole huge
What
debate
if-
to have there. We're not going to get into that controversial territory here on Timcast.
What if Fox brings on Don Lemon now and he takes the 8 o'clock time?
It actually, the thing is, it wouldn't sound that
Don
different.
Diversity
But
quota.
Fox
No,
wouldn't
it
sound
wouldn't
that
sound
different
that
if they
different.
brought Don Lemon on.
That's what bothers me. They're all saying the same thing. They're interchangeable.
We got to mention that dude was fired, but first I want to talk about this story.
Can
right
I just
here.
make one more point really quickly about this? So they're saying what you said hit the nail on the head, right? They think Tucker is going to be replaceable because everyone else on television is. All of these other personalities are. It is not going to be easy to replace Tucker.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.